Welcome to the Knowing Show. I am your host, Christene Marie, and this morning we are moving through our daily lesson in A Course in Miracles. We've been doing a whole series over the last 10 days of the review of the last 50 lessons we've moved through. And so today we are resuming with lesson 61, which is a full day dedicated to just one theme. But before we dive in, I'm just going to do a quick review of about 20 lessons leading up to today. Y'all, each one of these lessons has really built on each other, and it's really phenomenal, the type of mental and spiritual insights that each lesson that this book gives us. So I'm going to go ahead and dive in. Lesson 26, my attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. Lesson 27, above all else, I want to see. Lesson 28, above all else, I want to see differently. Lesson 29, God is in everything I see. Lesson 30, God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. Lesson 31, I am not the victim of the world I see. Lesson 32, I have invented the world I see. Lesson 33, there is another way of looking at the world. Lesson 34, I could see peace instead of this. Lesson 35, my mind is part of God's. I am very holy. Lesson 36, my holiness envelops everything I see. Lesson 37, my holiness blesses the world. Lesson 38, there is nothing my holiness cannot do. Lesson 39, my holiness is my salvation. Lesson 40, I am blessed as the Son of God. Lesson 41, God goes with me wherever I go. Lesson 42, God is my strength. Vision is his gift. Lesson 43, God is my source. I cannot see apart from him. Lesson 44, God is the light in which I see. Lesson 45, God is the mind with which I think. Lesson 46, God is the love in which I forgive. Lesson 47, God is the strength in which I trust. Lesson 48, there is nothing to fear. Lesson 49, God's voice speaks to me all through the day. Lesson 50, I am sustained by the love of God. And on to today's lesson, lesson 61. I am the light of the world. Who is the light of the world except God's Son? This, then, is merely a statement of truth about yourself. It is the opposite of a statement of pride, of arrogance, or of self-deception. It does not describe the self-concept you have made. It does not refer to any of the characteristics with which you have endowed your idols. It refers to you as God created you. It simply states the truth. To the ego, today's idea is the epitome of self-glorification. But the ego does not understand humility, mistaking it for self-debasement. Humility consists of accepting your role in salvation and in taking no other. It is not humility to insist you cannot be the light of the world if that is the function God assigned to you. It is only arrogance that would assert this function cannot be for you, and arrogance is always of the ego. True humility requires that you accept today's idea because it is God's voice which tells you it is true. This is the beginning step in accepting your real function on earth. It is a giant stride toward taking your rightful place in salvation. It is a positive assertion of your right to be saved and in acknowledgement of the power that is given you to save others. You will want to think about this idea as often as possible today. It is the perfect answer to all illusions and therefore to all temptation. It brings all the images you have made about yourself to the truth and helps you depart in peace, unburdened and certain of your purpose. As many practice periods as possible should be undertaken today, although each one need not exceed a minute or two. They should begin with telling yourself, I am the light of the world. That is my only function. That is why I am here. Then think about these statements for a short while, preferably with your eyes closed if the situation permits. Let a few related thoughts come to you and repeat the idea to yourself if your mind wanders from the central thought. Be sure to both begin and end the day with practice periods. Thus, you will awaken with the acknowledgement of the truth about yourself, reinforce it throughout the day, and turn to sleep as you reaffirm your function and your only purpose here. These 2 practice periods may be longer than the rest if you find them helpful and want to extend them. Today's idea goes far beyond the ego's petty view of what you are and what your purpose is. As a bringer of salvation, this is obviously necessary. This is the first of a number of giant steps we will take in the next few weeks. Try today to begin to build a firm foundation for these advances. You are the light of the world. God has built his plan for the salvation of his son on you. Y'all, we talked about ego last week, and I love the second paragraph here. So I'm gonna read the first two paragraphs one more time just to really solidify it. Lesson 61, I am the light of the world. Who is the light of the world except God's Son? This then is merely a statement of the truth about yourself. It is the opposite of a statement of pride, of arrogance, or of self-deception. It does not describe the self-concept you have made. It does not refer to any of the characteristics with which you have endowed your idols. It refers to you as you were created by God. It simply states the truth. To the ego, today's idea is the epitome of self-glorification, but the ego does not understand humility, mistaking it for self-abasement. Humility consists of accepting your role in salvation and taking no other. It is not humility to insist you cannot be the light of the world if that is the function God assigned to you. It is only arrogance that would assert this function cannot be for you. And arrogance is always of the ego. You know what's wild? I just realized this. So it is not humility to insist you cannot be the light of the world if that is the function God assigns to you. It is only arrogance that would assert this function cannot be for you. Effectively, if we're not willing to accept the role God says we are, we're coming back like our ego is that arrogant to look in the face of the divine, to look in the face of the ultimate creator of the world and say, that's not my role. So to accept anything other than being a light and being a city on a hill, these concepts of you are the light of the world, you are a city on a hill. Those are like, we're beacons. We're meant to live big and bright and shining and ultimately walking in exactly who we were created to be is that. But for us to walk anything other and self-abase and be like, oh, I'm not that big. Oh, I'm not that important. Oh, I'm not that wonderful. I'm not that beautiful. That's actually a sign of arrogance. That's not humility. And this flips it entirely on its head because in so many ways, the world defines humility as self-abasement. And society is like, honestly, we're seeing different messages these days in society where people are more about the self-love and self-glorification than anything. But so maybe it's not so much that like I will tend towards the air of self-abasement. Oh, I'm not that great. But others will be like, oh, I am the center of the universe. And that's not right either. It's like this fine balance of like, where do we find this is why I love the example and analogy of our compass. Where is our compass pointed? Because it could be pointed east, where it's I'm not good enough and self-abasement, or it could be pointed west, which is I'm the end all be all, I'm amazing, or it could be pointed north, which is I'm the light of the world. And am I lighting up the way that God intended me to? Am I actually being a light that mirrors his light? Am I actually truly shining in a way that really illuminates the love of God? I'm just going to jump here in the chat. Good morning, Brian. It's good to see you. I'm glad you're here. Wayne, good morning. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad. Wayne says, good morning. I watched your podcast from last night. I'm glad you made it home safe and the sunset sounds amazing. I am too. It was so amazing. For context, those of you who didn't join last night, I was flying and I was just so grateful for that moment to be really present because it was absolutely stunning, and y'all, I think that that's a picture of who we're actually supposed to be. I actually think that we're supposed to bring a sense of captivation. Brian says, I am the light. Are we bringing light into a room? How does our presence change the atmosphere? How does who we are carry something of God into a space where people are like needing healing and they encounter us and they're better in some ways, whether it's emotional or spiritual, physical even? Our presence should demarcate. Our presence should usher in the presence of God. Jonathan, it's good to see you. Good morning. Leo, Luca, good to see you. Thanks for joining. Wilson, good morning. Thank you. Brian says to subscribe. Wayne says, I am the light of the world. Harvey, good to see you. Says, how are you today? I'm doing so good. I'm excited for today. I have, I have a full schedule, and that's not happening right now. This is my reality here with you this morning, and I think that just being reminded to be present. We talked about being present on the podcast last night, and so I want to remember that throughout the day. That even though, there's so much on our plates, even though there's so much to do, may we not stop being human beings rather than being human doers and finding so much of our value there. So I want to remember that today. Israel, good to see you. Danger, you're of high value. You too, my friend. I'm so glad you're here. Brian, thank you. Be respectful in the chat. Manny, good to see you. We are reading through A Course in Miracles, and we are honestly this process is really reminding ourselves of who we are. This lesson 61. I am the light of the world. That's who God says that we are. And y'all, that is a high call. That is an exciting call. That is a call that is bigger probably than you and I would take up space. It's actually like, oh, I need to step into my power. Oh, I need to step in and assume this role of being the light of the world. And so that means that one, people are watching. It means that two, people are going to see us. It means three, we're going to be exuding a presence. And then that question is, what kind of a light are we being? Are we being a light that mirrors who God is? Or are we maybe being a light that's drawing other people away from the true light? There's even this concept of the angel masquerades himself as an angel of light. So just because you shine does not mean that you're shining in the right direction. Just because you shine, it doesn't mean that you're actually shining in accordance with the truth. So that's something that is kind of like, oh, let's make sure that we think about that too. Bad MFKR, good to see you. Thanks for joining. Action Rescue, good morning. Buana, good to see you. Joe. Dave says, have you ever met anyone from beyond? From beyond? Well, I have. And I have, oh, have you ever met anyone from beyond? Well, I have. And I have no faith in God. I've met angels and death and been in the tunnel 3 times and seen the light. I am a non-believer. I'm surprised to hear you say you're a non-believer after all of those experiences. Man, I feel like I'm only experiencing more and more things that really really sustain this faith in God and the creator. Like I'm sitting here looking out, seeing the sunrise, and I'm just so grateful at the thought and have faith in the thought that there is, we talk about human intelligence on the Knowing Show. I'm grateful that there's a super intelligence. I'm grateful that the world isn't left up to no one. In one sense, you can look at it, and it all depends on perspective. You can look at it and say, how could there be such corruption in this world if there is a God? And I also am so grateful that there isn't a God who made robots. We're seeing what robots can do with AI. And so we're effectively seeing what's possible, what could have been if God had created us without the freedom to choose. And so then the question is, well, what are you going to choose today? Who are you going to choose to be? And what is your light going to shine? Where is your light going to shine? I think that that's a really interesting question. Like, so often a light has a source. A flashlight, a light has, like, I'm having the light stream in from the sun. So I think that that's an important question, is where is your source for the light which you exude? Is your source of your own volition? Is your source you and God? Is your source something else? Arnie, thank you. Darkness only exists because of the absence of light. Fast Alligator, good morning. Jake, thanks for joining. I'm so glad you're here. Staying present in the moment. The sun is shining on your third eye. I love that. Ramu, we don't talk like that here, but I'm glad you're here, so feel free to engage. Buana says, why 2 channels? We have, honestly, I started 2 channels a year and a half, or not a year ago, almost a year ago, I guess 8 months ago. I started with 2 channels, and we're actually going to be consolidating down to just Christene Marie at the end of the month. So if you guys want to follow along on the Knowing Show, feel free to hop over. This is the right link where you can show up. Dinish, good to see you. Y'all, I really want to leave us with this encouragement. When we're feeling small today, if we ever feel obsequious, if we feel unsure of who we are in our identity, let us remember that God made us to shine bright. That the ego would come in and either self-abase us in terms of like the arrogance of saying, I'm not that big. And really, isn't that such an interesting form of ego that can steal our identity? And I think in so many ways that's always going to be the result of ego, is that we're not walking in our identity. And your identity is big, your identity is beautiful, your identity is the light of the world. And let us remember that that is who God says that we are. That when we are not shining bright and we feel like something's off or something's wrong, it's because it is. We're intended and created to be bright and to be big. You know, in my first real relationship, I would get kicked under the table when I would laugh too loud. And that really solidified a narrative in my mind that I shouldn't be big and I shouldn't laugh loud and I shouldn't take up space. And that doesn't mean we steal the spotlight. What that means is that in us being the light of the world, we take our light and actually shine it for other people. My darling does this so beautifully. He's so big, bigger than me, and he shines his light on people and amplifies them. And he'll ask people every time, regardless if it's the barista or the waitress, um, somebody at at the post office in the mailroom, he'll say, "What's your name?" And he'll really want to know, and he'll really draw people out and get to know them in that brief 60 to 90-second encounter. And I've seen people's physical body change. They'll stand up taller and say their name, and they'll smile because they're seen. Y'all, people want to be seen. And if we are sourced from within, from the power and love of God, and then we shine brightly and we shine on other people and say, "Who are you? Tell me who you are. I want to love on you today." The world is going to change drastically in front of us. You know, we talk about the power of our thoughts and how what we think about is so often what we'll experience. Well, this is a way to alchemize the power of thought, and the power of thought is the truth of your identity. I am the light of the world. So, with that, thank you all so much for joining this morning. I am going to be back on again tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and we're gonna have some conversations. So I'm excited to be with you back again today, y'all. I just wanted to say that if any of you have questions, I would love to answer them. If you guys fill out this form, there's an opportunity for you to post questions, and Jello, I just saw you say this is a ripoff of the original stream. I actually own both channels. So thankfully, thank you for looking out for the original channel. I appreciate that. But we're all one. um, Battle says, "I'm glad you're in love." Oh, it's hard to find these days. Well, and it's hard work to keep it. I will say that. If you guys ever want to talk relationships, I have been shocked at what relationships have proved to be. I even was talking about that with my darling last night. Um, I think that this illusion of the fairy tale has really ruined so many relationships. So, to that point, I just dropped here in the chat a link to a form. If you want to put in, Wayne says, "What's your name?" My name's Christene Marie. You can see actually there, I dropped the link to my website, Christene Marie. You can see it spelled out. But guys, on the form, if you put in your first name, last name, your email, and then let me know if you want to attend in person or virtual events. Are there topics you would like me to address? And just any additional comments. I really want to hear from you guys. I want us to be talking about things that are meaningful to you, questions that you've got. And frankly, as we start heading in the direction of having a knowing community, an official one, I want to know, what are things that you guys are musing on, questioning, thinking about, being encouraged by. I think I said it right. Senjiz. I don't know, but I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much. I think it's Bing Top, but I'm glad you're here. Wayne, thank you, my friend. Brian, thank you all so much for joining. Go ahead and go to the Knowing Show and fill out that form. I actually am putting on, I think that we're going to do a virtual retreat soon. So if you guys are interested, I would love to invite you. I was going to have an in-person retreat at the end of this month, and I think I'm going to make it a virtual one. Pujani said that he would join, and he was like, "Well, I'm not in the U.S., and so can you do a virtual event?" And so I think at the end of this month, I'm going to be doing an online retreat, which I've never done before. I've only ever done in person. So this will be exciting. So if you'd like to attend and/or you have topics that you want us to address, again, here's the form. Thank you so much for joining. I'm so grateful for each one of you. And guys, remember, you are the light of the world. The world needs you today. And if you were to just take one moment, one opportunity today to shine your light on somebody else, I'd love to hear about it tonight. And actually, I think that we'll open with that tonight. What was the one thing you did today? And maybe it was a couple examples. I'm actually going to set my alarm with this lesson of I am the light of the world, just as a reminder, because I want that to be a narrative. I want that to be a program in my mind that, remember, Christine, I get to love people, and I've got the opportunity to be the power and love of God to them. The world needs us, friends. Don't ever underestimate who you are. You are made with a purpose and made with intention. And today there's a reason and an opportunity for you to utilize that very gift. So thank you. Have a wonderful day. I will see you